Right, shall we begin? To receive apologies for absence.
Councillors Gates, Councillor Jones and Councillor Hughes have all written apologies in.
Right, thank you. Variation of order of business? No. Declaration of members' interests. Does anyone have anything to declare?
No.
No. Minutes. To confirm the minutes of the Finance Committee meeting of the 19th of August.
I'll move those. Go on.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favour? Yes. Website accessibility. The clerk has circulated an email from Philip Chapman suggesting some work that needs to be done on our website to make it conform with recent legislation. Would it be, Andy?
Yes, there's been quite a build up to this, and as I've emailed, some consternation around the parishes as to how we would comply with the regulations that come into place on the 23rd of this month.
Right.
And what I presented to you is possibly the only way I could see to do it, which was to commission the work off our website designer. He's been quite frank in that email.
Yes.
There's a lot of work and he cannot pin exactly the cost, but he gives you that estimate in the email of between £500 and £1,000. The Finance Committee is, by its standing orders, can authorise an order up to £1,000. Here comes Councillor Jones. And that's what's before you.
Right. What does anybody else think about this? Do you think we should be doing this work and at that cost?
I don't think we've any alternative, have we?
No, I don't.
No, I don't either.
I think we've got to do it.
Yeah,
so,
by law you do. It's a statutory obligation. There's no funding for it. We have to do it. We do it from a certain date in time, which Bill is only too aware of, and he explains to me in detail what he doesn't have to make user-friendly, to use that expression, and what he does, and he knows that date. And he apologises for not being able to be more exact than the figures he gave you.
okay, so we propose commissioning Phil Chapman to do this work with a price cap, as it were, of £1,000. Would anyone like to second that?
I'll second it.
All those in favour? Oops. Yes. Right. Thank you. Updates read bank accounts.
Not a lot to say about the bank accounts. Unusually, they've gone up this month as opposed to down, but we'll consider that in the finance reports. The only interesting thing I noticed was when I was receiving the last of this year's allotment payments, somebody used the old account again, which again justifies your reason for keeping it. There'll be some interesting additions next month. For example, we've received £210 in higher fees from the post office for the tennis courts. And I have had to negotiate the first invoice to the government body for the solar farm, and it looks like that has passed, and that we'll receive the payment back in the next 2 days. And so at the next finance meeting, you'll see money's coming in and money's going out, and the VAT.
So how does the money go out?
You'll have to authorise at the October meeting. I'm about to receive from Derby Council's finance department the invoice I sent to them for the first set of works minus the VAT. That will appear in our bank account in 2 days' time. And at the October meeting, I will seek the authority to pay to ADAS that amount of money plus the VAT. I will then, because that will tip us over the level you need to get to, do another VAT 126 return to get everything balanced as quickly as possible.
So we can claim quite quickly.
Yeah. That was the beauty of getting that VAT in and working this month, is we now have all the identifications, and that struggle is over.
That's good. That's really good.
And so you'll see it next month, and again, examine the accounts, and hopefully they will look clear cut to yourselves, which would mean the auditor's happy with them next year.
Mhm.
You want me to go straight into the finance report? I'll put
Yeah.
it up on the
Does
screen.
anyone have any comment or want to say anything?
No, no.
Mhm.
Okay, finance report.
Reports.
Okay, that's the wrong one. I do apologise.
Oh, September.
No, it's the finance report I wanted. So
Mhm.
why is it not showing?
It's there, I can see it.
I can see it.
Finance report.
I can see it. Oh, it says September. Finance Committee and Parish Council meeting, but it is the transactions, the
Oh.
first to the 31st.
Yeah.
August.
Yeah,
So you're right.
yeah. So as for every month, we're looking at what happened in August, and the summary is that we opened with £106,941 4 We received £13,254 47, which breakdown was that some of the last allotment payments £24, the VAT 126 refund £3,230, and the small business rate grant from the borough under COVID of 10,000. We
Ah,
spent, and that was just a simple form, and that came in 3 days later.
wonderful.
And we spent 4292.26, and the VAT in the month was 119, which in itself wouldn't be enough to cross the threshold to make a claim. But as I said, once I get the ADAS bill out, I'll be claiming. When I've done the reconciliation, which is this bit here, you see the bank balance, the 115,903.25. It
Yes.
matches the cash book or the spreadsheet at 115,903.25, which makes me happy. And there's the breakdown of the accounts. You'll see Santander went up due to that payment by £8, and the Unity Trust current also went up. In terms of next month, I think next month I will owe you another projection, as in half the year, and I think it'll be very similar to the last projection, which is administration costs I predict will be a little over the 33.8, and Councillor Jones saw that coming, and really I should have adjusted, but we'll live with it. My biggest worry still is I want the £10,000 for the bridge to be paid. Well, basically I want the bridge to be in place,
Yeah.
and then that 10,000 goes from the reserves. In terms of pressure on the accounts, I'm having to carry out or obtain quotes for playground equipment that is suffering wear and tear, unsurprisingly due to COVID, needs replacing, and I'll be coming up with quotes for that for the next meeting. The same thing is with the tree surveys. I'm desperately trying to get quotes off the companies for that. So I see those as fairly big expenditures coming in the next quarter. At the moment, we're extremely healthy. It looks like we're heading for to be very underspent, which I'm hoping to address the balance on that in the coming quarter.
Well, we're not cancelling all of our amenities, are we? Because we'll still have the Christmas tree and lights, even if we don't have a ceremony.
True.
Um,
And that's to be considered at the October meeting.
yes.
But yes, we're working on maintenance now in the next quarter, which is mainly playgrounds and trees.
Yes. Well, it's good to get cracking on it before winter really bites, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm mindful of your suggestion to commission this year's playground inspection earlier than I normally do.
Right.
And the other, you'll note that DALC payment going out this month, £410, is to get the new caretaker trained in weekly playground inspections. And at that point, I would consider a formal, proper reopening of the playgrounds, because we'll be able to put in the regime that is required by the government.
Right.
At the moment, we're doing what we said we would do, which is the services we've withdrawn, but we're inspecting our equipment and repairing it when we feel it needs the repair. So anyone walking down Valley Road will see the roundabout has disappeared this week.
Really?
Yeah, the bearings, the screws, bolts, it was wobbling all over the show.
Has the warranty run out?
Yes, just.
That is a shame.
Yeah. I'm open with that one. The quotes, I'm seeking two quotes. One is replacement parts, and the other is replacement parts and fitting. And with that roundabout, it is simply a question of bolts and threading. And I've got a horrible feeling we may have fudged our bolts at some point and replaced them with ones that didn't fit because they've worn a bit. But either way, we'll get it back going, and it's nice to see the thing used, although it shouldn't be used.
Yes, I mean, going back to the big playground inspection,
Yeah.
when did the installation happen at Little Hayfield?
Little Hayfield would have been completed literally a year and a couple of months.
Because it's quite a good idea to bring our other inspection forward so that we don't leave it too long for Little Hayfield, because it's 14 months rather than 12 months.
Yeah,
at the moment.
we'll get them all together.
Yeah.
I think it was actually about September, wasn't it, that it was finished?
It could have been, yeah. So exactly a year. So that now would be a good time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we did get Little Hayfield inspected along with everything else. Asked him to go along, and clearly he just gave it a clean bill of health.
Yes.
Because of all the, but he still had the older stuff to look at.
Yes.
Any questions on the finance report?
No.
No.
No, it looks good.
Stop the share.
Right.
So do we need to move to accept it or anything?
Note it or
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good move. Eva seconding it.
Yeah.
All in favour.
Yeah.
Accounts for payment. Has anybody checked the payment list against the invoices apart from me?
I've checked the amounts that that's been emailed to us. I mean, I haven't checked the physical invoices.
No, that's something that Kath does after the event.
Kath kindly does that, doesn't she?
She does.
But yes, I've checked them and happy with them.
Right.
You know, with the amendment that Andy sent us earlier today.
Okay, yeah. I'm happy.
Right. Who else besides myself has checked the payment list against the transactions awaiting payment on the Unity Trust side?
I'm losing it here.
Well, we do
The
need,
payments checklist.
which you check against the invoices,
Yeah.
and then you also check them against the transaction amounts that are sitting there awaiting payment on the Unity Trust website.
Right, I haven't done that.
Oh, I haven't.
I haven't either.
From a legality point of view, if the scans of the invoices I sent you, if you've checked those against the payments checklist, then you can authorise the payments to be made. So Councillor Wilson's right. When we come to actually make the payments, the person who's on the bank account, which normally is outside of the open meeting, needs to be checking that what they're ticking matches the invoices. If there's only Councillor Wilson in this meeting done that, that's okay, because there are other councillors who can authorise online after the meeting. But I need for the meeting for you to say that the checklist I presented to you and those payments in the minutes, you're happy they match the scans of the invoices I sent you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I propose we authorise the payments.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favour? Okay. Right. To confirm the date of the next Finance Committee meeting.
21st of October. This will be quite a late one. Wednesday the 21st.
Okay. Fine. Right. End of meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just pause the live transmission